Andy Scott, on Tuesday night, in the immediate aftermath of Woking, you seem to suggest that it was that the game was something of a tipping point. Do you still feel that way about channeling that early promise into fruit?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we never got carried away when we had some good results, but we're not going to get carried away when we've had some bad results as well. You know, we want to win games, and of course we wanted to win Tuesday night. It was a big game for the club and fans and everything like that. But yeah, it didn't work out for us. We weren't miles away, but we didn't play to our potential. But equally, I don't think they did as well. So, you know, it was a game that was won with a wonder strike. There was lots of things that we could have done to prevent the goal. You know, and we had opportunities to win the game ourselves. So, you know, we've got to brush ourselves down. There's no point dwelling on it, and there's no time to with so many games coming up thick and fast. But we've got to turn, you know, what we've done in the first 8 games in terms of what we've done well. We've got to turn those into points when we get the opportunity. And we've got, you know, Nuneaton and Braintree coming up where, you know, we've got to go and take the game to both those sides and try and get some maximum points out of those games.
What do you think the key is to realising this team's potential? Because everybody has seen in patches over whole games even, there is a lot there, and it's just maybe that, as you keep saying, that final extra couple of percent before the team really gels.
I mean, I think that certainly, you know, we've had a lot of opportunities in the games that we've played. We need to be a little bit more clinical in the box, and that's something that we've probably got to look at, and we've been working in making sure that we have players in the right areas in the box and the ball's coming in, and also making sure the ball comes in when it should do. You've got to put teams under pressure and keep them under pressure, and I think for the last 20-25 minutes of the game on Tuesday night, we did put a lot of balls in the box, but it's about getting on the end of it, and it's about putting the ball in the net. No matter how well you play, you've still got to score goals, and we can pick holes in defensively, you know, the goals that we concede, but equally we've got to be ruthless in the opposition box, and we've got players who can score goals, but we've got to be, you know, more clinical.
And we've still only conceded no more than one goal in any game, but there seems to be plenty of goals in this team. It's just, again, getting that sort of creating those chances and getting them over the line.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're creating chances, or getting into areas where we can create chances. It's about making sure that we don't overplay or don't try and do something too clever sometimes. And you know, I really feel that we've got a lot of goals in us, and we can go give someone a hiding. But you know, no matter what happens, we've got to be defensively sound, and the fact that we aren't conceding many goals is good. But we do need to convert the chances that we're getting, and that's the responsibility of everyone. You know, in open play and in set plays as well. So you know, we're sort of, although we're pleased on the majority with the performances we've had, we don't feel like we've got the points that we deserve. You know, you can only say that for so long. We've just got to, you know, get on with it and look towards the next game, and we pick up 3 points on Saturday and you know, play Braintree down here on Tuesday night, looking for the 3 points as well. You know, it's a lot rosier picture, but you know, we're not getting carried away. It's a very, very long season. We know that, you know, we are struggling really with personnel that we've got in terms of the way that we want to play it. You know, obviously put Tristan on in the second half to give us more width, and that's really how we want to play in general. But we're losing Moles. We've lost Molesy, we've lost Joe and Gesson, and Tristan's been injured with his hamstring, and then he's been ill. So the personnel that we can play in those positions hasn't been available to us. So we've had to adapt, which hasn't really worked ideally for us in those games. But we know that as a squad that we haven't got huge numbers, and we haven't got the ability to bring other players in, so we're going to have to get on with it. And with that in mind, we've done okay. But in an ideal world, I want to play with more width and more pace out wide and get balls in the box. But if that happens, then we need people in there to convert the chances. So you know, we're still working on it, and we're still training every day on what we've got to do better all over the pitch to improve.
And we've seen when it clicks, it really clicks. So it's important to stick to the principles that you've come into the season with.
Yeah, no one's going to panic. No one's going to get carried away. Either way, if we win a few games on the trot, we're not going to say we're going to win the league or whatever. And if we lose a couple like we've done, we're not going to panic that, you know, we're going to be, you know, in dire straits. We're not. We're we're a good side when we get it right. What we've got to make sure is we do it right all the time. And I think the last 20 minutes when obviously they were defending for their lives, but we moved the ball a lot better. We got it to our fullbacks, we got it to our wide players. We had a real attacking intent about us, and they didn't really create much. And that's how we want to play from the off. We want to take the game to the opposition for 90 minutes and be relentless in our pursuit of winning the game and getting the 3 points by really taking the game to teams. And we want the players to express themselves and have a little bit of arrogance that they know they're a good side, and to go out there and prove it.
And I suppose managerless Nuneaton beating Forest Green shows how unpredictable this division can be.
That sums the league up, doesn't it? It does sum the league up. There's so many results each week where you think you can predict what the result's going to be, and it turns out to be completely opposite. We had a really tough game against them last year. I mean, the conditions were appalling, but we didn't play well. They're a big, strong, physical side, and they got the ball forward quickly, and they made life very difficult for us. We conceded some poor goals, but we didn't really look like, sort of threatening, getting anything out of it until, Tristan scored a good goal up there, his first goal for us, and we nearly got something out of it at the end, but we didn't perform well that night. It was a poor night for us, and we need to make sure that we go up there with in the knowledge that that's the sort of thing they can do, and that maybe the Forest Green result is a good result for us, because it means that the players understand that they can beat a good side, because we know how good Forest Green can be. Having said that, you look at Forest Green, and teams like Bristol Rovers, and we're in and around them. We're not far off the big teams in this league, but you've got to be on it every game. And Nuneaton showed that the other night when they beat Forest Green, and people can't predict what's going to happen, and you've got to make sure that you stick to how you're going to play and be organised and disciplined about what you do, and make sure that you see games out and do the right things for the 90 minutes.
And they're struggling to score goals, conceding quite a few at the other end as well, but particularly now there's a new coaching staff in place, or caretaker manager has taken over. They'll still be a dangerous proposition.
Without a doubt, the caretaker in charge was assistant under Kevin Wilkins, so he knows what it takes to get a side playing well and working well. And if anything, it might galvanise them a little bit. They might change the style of play into something that they were doing before, and he knows the strengths of all those players that he's got there. It didn't work bringing the manager in from Scotland. He obviously didn't understand what was required, and it didn't work for Nuneaton. But the caretaker manager is someone who knows the league very well and understands what it takes to get results, and it might give them a little bit of a lift. So it's a tricky game for us, but one that we feel that if we just stick to what we're doing and keep believing in what we're doing, then we can pick the 3 points up.